Oh, Scott my 6 blades, welcome back. Got a really cool. How you lot work out where I live, I've no idea. Really impressive. You must find me on Google or something. So this is from Peter, and what he wants me to do is just give him a bit of a boost on this knife that he's made. First knife. I want to celebrate this. Look at this one. Look at the stitching on that. My sheets were as good as that first time. So, out of a file, and obviously without the lucky equipment that I've got, what I'm going to do is help him out, put a neat bevel on there for him. Okay, so he's got oak handles and red liners and everything else. It's a knife. Now, just for all them out there who are in this sort of beginning stage, what I thought I'd do is I'll just do a little help out little idea. The bevel blocks that I make up, I managed to get it out of scrap from the bin, right? So what was lying around was 4mm ply offcuts. You can tell they're offcuts, okay? There's the bottom, but the blade just rests on that little shelf there, 11 o'clock. And the bevel's put on by, I tilted the saw over. There's your 11 degrees, okay? Now these work absolutely great when you're working with a blade blank, so you're just looking at your stock, because what happens is he sits on a little shelf like that and he's happy, okay? The beauty of a bevel block is you put it on that side and you literally pick it up, flip it over, and you're straight on the other side. So when you're finding your last little bevel and getting it just right, you haven't got to top, unmount, unbolt everything. It's really quick, okay? So that's the beauty of those. But when you come to do a knife that's got the scales on, like when I do MOD knives or the Condors, what happens is, because they've got the scales on now, so you can't put it against the side like that. What I've got to do is put a piece of wood on the side that's got exactly flat. So obviously this piece of wood has been gone through the planer thicknesser, so I won't adjust the angle of that by putting a wedge shaped piece of this underneath, and then a clamp or screw or pin bevel block on top of there. What that now allows me to do is to just put the blade in the bevel and the scales stick out the side like that. So now what I'm doing is I'm holding the blade into the block with my thumb on the back. Okay, that's what's clamping it, as opposed to the whole blade being on there. I still got the blade itself, but you got 20k of pressure holding it on, so it's not quite the end of the world. All right, so that allows you to use the same bevel block but put it on a uniform piece. Now if you've got some melamine chipboard, it's made very even, okay? It's manufactured. I wouldn't use MDF, because MDF picks up moisture and you don't know how it's going to shift and kilt and move around in damp dungeons. Okay, a stock piece of phenolic, like toilet cubicle, 10mm thick stuff, 3/8, anything like that just bumps up your bevel block. So irrespective of what contour or guard or hilt or pommel or whatever you've got on the knife, all you've got to do is just fit that in there, hold it still, and you've still got the angle of your bevel block, but you've lifted it off the stage a little bit. Right, I'll get it going. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so I've actually found 3 small lost head pins. Got that ready to go. Surface it won't yield too much. Put that there. Make sure it's neat and tidy. I also find that when I was working with kids in the school, that to try and line it up when you're doing it, it's sometimes easier to get the pins into the plywood, because it's quite resistant for a pin to go through, and then once they're stood up and you've gone through 3 or 4mm of the 4mm, then you bring it over and you haven't got to hold the nails. So I'm going to put that on there, get me pin. Now lost head nails, sort of a long oval. What I'm looking at, because the grain of the wood's mostly running this way, I want the actual head of the pin to be that way, because you won't split apart what the grain of it. So with a small tappy pin hammer, bum bum bum, and he's just sat up there quite happily. I haven't got a faff about with holding it whilst I'm trying to drive it into the wood later. Again, get the lost head oval shape in line with the grain. And the last one. Be careful, I've got some big holes in that offcut, so I'll try about there. So I've seen I've got holes in my offcut, so I'm going to miss them with the pins. Right, so they're through. So once I get it right, I can actually press that and it'll stay on because one of the nails is through. The pin hammers are really useful. We'll put that like that. Yeah, that's cool. Stays put. The weapon gets bigger every now and again. Let me chop her away. I hate it when that happens. That's what it is. Pinned in, lifted up. See you in a minute. That's all a bit pointless unless you can get a really good 90°. So when you address your tri-square up to the work stage and you tighten that back up again, what tends to happen is that last little tighten, quite often this may move backwards and forwards. Get it tight, and then it's just a case of hitting it and hitting it to get it absolutely bang on at the end.
Here we go then, grinding someone else's knife. No pressure. It's too tall, I can't see it. So I'm going to hack off a bit of that. Don't you love bandsaws? Lovely now. Ooh. A little bit slap this throat. So there I've achieved it. There I haven't. So I just zero pressure. I'm just touching the belt there, skimming it, and then I apply once the red line comes in. Drop of water. No pressure, minimal push. Okay, so what I've achieved is a pretty even grind, but I may not quite have got to the tip. Doesn't matter, I want to go the other side and see if I can get it even. If I've gone absolutely to the tip that he put on, okay, I don't know whether it was exactly in the middle. If I'd gone to the tip and it ended up that was actually too far, I've now overdone the bevel I've done. So let's do 48% on each side and then get the last two just right. Now the beauty of the bevel block now is I just flip it over, and locally you've got to behave yourself and do the same both sides. All England can't be tip. It's very careful because you get hotter at the tip quicker. So I'm going to be gentle. Wait for the tie back belt and I'm going to be very gentle. Tiniest little bit more. Tiniest little bit more. So that's the 36 grit. No, same idea, brought down the grits.
Now there's one little check I do. It's not the pinnacle of sharpness, okay, but after I've been on the stropping block, the chrome oxide and a bit of oil on the stropping block, when I wipe the blade, if you're very careful and you hold the cloth a bit like that, when you wipe the blade, okay, and clean it, okay, it's clean, hold it between your fingers like that, see if it cuts, okay, it should be able to quite easily cut a cotton cloth, or a copper cloth, I think now, right, but like that, and just draw down through. It should be sharp enough to do that. I'll say there's paper cut and all the rest of it, but do I need to go back on the stage? Well, no. It cuts paper quite happily. Okay. So that's the Peter. So you got basically another bevel on there for him. But for the first knife, cracking. If I could mention one thing, slightly fatter in the scale, slightly more rounded on the top, but damn if that ain't a good first knife. See you next one. It's got from Wessex Blade with Peter's final bushcraft.